So the latest trailer for GTA 6 dropped earlier this week, but have you checked your bank account recently? Because with the way that the industry's moving, it looks like Rockstar might have to ship this thing with a built-in credit check. Let's talk pre-orders, why we love the series, possible pricing scams, strategies, Rockstar legal meant strategies, and the beautiful, painful inevitability that we're all gonna buy it anyway. Let's dive in and maybe somebody can tell us why all these pricing shifts in the industry really matter. This is why it matters. This is why the price increase matters. So going into GTA 6, the trailer dropped. Last week, it got delayed. I speculated last week about we talked about how Borderlands 2 was bumped up by 2 weeks. And so now it's going to be releasing earlier in September, 2 weeks earlier. And some people were speculating, I among them, that since they share a parent company between Gearbox and Rockstar, that perhaps Gearbox had knowledge of when GTA 6 was going to be dropping, and maybe that actually contributed to the decision to move their release date forward. Randy Pitchford declared, nay, this is not so. And as it turned out, that was correct, because we then got the announcement literally the day after our show,
right?
Hours after I made my speculation. I was immediately proven wrong. And they announced that they would then be releasing May 26th of 2026. That brings a lot of questions with it. So now that we have this whole race to $80 thing, what are the odds that GTA 6 doesn't launch at $80 or above?
Well, I think there's going to be 3 versions of the game. If I had to guess, you're going to get the standard version. That's probably, going to be $80. There's going to be some type of shark card versions after that. I think you're going to see a great white version that's going to give you like the $20 shark card. That's not going to do shit for you. And then you're going to get
it'll get you a trucker hat and a pair of shoes.
Yeah, what we call around here the big boy editions. The big boy edition will probably be $149 if I had to guess. It'll probably come with I still don't think they'll give you the Megalodon shark card. But they'll give you something. It'll probably be like $4 million or something like that, whatever it is. Plus, some in-game outfits and bullshit like that. So I think the other piece we need to look at is that I think is going to be a new type of DLC this time is going to be clean license plate packs.
Dude, that would be the worst.
If they're making it in the game to where people in the game can use their cell phone and take pictures of your license plate, and they're making it an option to where you can change out your license plate for a clean one, some exec that's also a gamer sitting in a boardroom going, hey, we can sell 10, 20, and 50 packs of clean license plates in addition to the shark cards.
Well, our friends,
I hope none of those guys are watching this right now, but yeah.
There was once an executive at EA that once speculated or hypothesized that they could charge for reloads in like Call of Duty, that kind of like those kind of shooter games, that they could charge per reload. And then I believe that was the same guy that then went on to be the CEO of Unity, the game engine, that whenever they made the announcement that the games that were already made in Unity, that if you had sold above X number, that you had to share a percentage of the profit with them. And eventually that ended up getting reversed, and that guy ended up losing his job. Thank God. But yeah, they're greedy. So I can see it going one of two ways. I can absolutely see GTA, because if you watch the GTA 6 trailer, did you watch it, Jay?
I did.
So it looks.
I do have a very strong opinion after you get through this point you're about to make, but go ahead.
Oh, yes. Well, we definitely do. We're going to talk about it. So, and I did do a GTA 6. Well, I wanted it to be a watch along. It ended up being more like a GTA 6 slideshow. So it wasn't exactly as planned. We had some technical difficulties. Those are going to be resolved. But go and watch it anyway. There was some fun theory crafting. And it turns out during some of that theory crafting, I'm not one to brag. I'm not one to rub anybody's nose in it. But I was right. So during that trailer, it looked amazing, but there were some spots that I speculated were not cinematics, as in, it wasn't just like a straight up cinematic, but it was more of the portions of the game where an action is being done. So it's in game, but it's doing the controlling, and then it will lead into you taking over control. There were a few portions that looked like that's what was going on. Turns out I was right. So Rockstar confirmed that GTA 6 trailer was, I know this Jay has thoughts. The GTA 6 trailer was captured on a base PS5 with equal parts gameplay and cutscenes. So go back and watch the watch along that we did, and you can see the spots that I speculated are the gameplay. So I will let Jay go ahead and vent some of the steam before it comes out of his ears, and he can let us know his
Okay,
thoughts on this claim.
yes, you are in fact right that this is the information they put out. Do they need to be honest with the public? No, they don't. They can say whatever and show whatever they want. Do I think that more of it was cutscene than gameplay? I do.
Oh, absolutely.
Uh,
Everybody thought it was all cutscene though, which was
in
the
fact,
thing.
there were pieces of it where I thought, okay, this is the gameplay. You could almost just tell that, okay, this is the gameplay segment. But those were so quick and so fast and flashed out of in a heartbeat back to a story a bit. And I also have a hard time believing that this was running on a base PS5. I know that's what they're saying, and I could be wrong, obviously, but I just feel like this was not running on it. It was either on a 5 Pro or some mega PC to run that thing.
Well, hey, if you're still watching, you must be enjoying this, or you're scouring the internet trying to figure out if there's any collector's editions that come with a GTA 6 duffel bag. But you are still here, so give us a like, a subscribe, and tell us in the comments, what's the dumbest special edition bonus you've ever actually spent money on? No judgment, I pre-ordered Fallout 76, so it's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts, especially given what we saw in that trailer. The level of detail was absolutely unreal. Now, granted, they found some really clever shortcuts on a lot of things that looked very impressive. And they've been doing this. Not only have they been doing this for a long time, they've been making impressive games on less than stellar hardware for a long time. They always seem to be able to squeeze out more than anybody else can. But they also have been working on this game for 10 years now, something like that.
Easily.
It's been forever, So they're
in the same boat Larian's in, man, where they designed a game, they left it with plenty of replayability, and they were able to partition off part of their team to go start working on 6.
Yeah, they gave
and
themselves
Larian's
breathing room. Yeah, they gave
Yeah.
themselves breathing room where they're like, hey man, people are going to be playing this for a long time. Of course, they even have one step above Larian, which was the whole thing is GTA 5 online. This thing is a behemoth. It's still hugely popular. We were actually
its own economy.
Yeah, well, as I brought up in the watch along that is on our channel, the original intention of GTA 5 once you went through, they were going to do, because all the other GTAs, we had gotten well, I guess not GTA 3, but previous GTAs we had gotten DLC. So GTA 4 and up, we had gotten DLCs, and they were some of the best GTA out there. You got like the Ballad of Gay Tony and the motorcycle one that escapes me the name of, but they were great. But we were supposed to get DLC, and it was supposedly going to be focused on everybody's favorite part, the heists. But then GTA 5 online just took off like crazy, and they just decided, you know what? This is fine. We'll just do this. Don't even worry about the DLC. So we never got the DLC. So now we have this, and yeah, who knows what GTA 6 online is going to look like. But the level of detail on here is crazy. In Red Dead Redemption 2, famously, they had the shrinking horse testicles levels of detail. And we had not gotten to see them do that with GTA 5, or sorry, GTA, because GTA 5, people don't realize GTA 5 is like 10 years old. We are talking about multiple generations now that GTA 5 has been on, and it still looks great, but now they've got even more horsepower, and they're gonna get the best out of it, I think. And I'm willing to trust them that they know enough tricks that this is now. It's probably not going to run 60 frames a second or anything like that, but I would bet that it still looks stunning on a base PS5.
I will say this too. I would have paid, and I bet they're still having these conversations in meetings, not conversations, but I would have paid to have been a fly on the wall for whoever the number cruncher guy, money wise, that they invite to the boardroom when they talk about GTA 6 and goes, you guys realize right now we're making $15.7 billion a year on GTA 5 online. But as soon as we launch 6, that's gone.
Well, I don't know, because
everybody I've talked to is like, man, I'm out. I'm out on 5 as soon as 6 launches.
Well, I mean, they're for sure. That's the vast majority of like the normie players and things like that. But there are dedicated like art like role playing servers with where everything's modded out and things like that. They people have added stuff where you can actually be a police officer and stuff like that, and people watch it on
Oh yeah,
Twitch. So I think that there will still be a core loyal audience. I don't think they're obviously not going to be making money hand over fist on it, but I think there'll still be players that are on it. But I mean, they're not going to miss it because they're going to be making probably twice that on GTA 6. Which brings me to
but
the oh, go ahead.
they've never yet launched the online component with the single player component. And
True.
B, a lot of those guys you're talking, like I subscribe to a guy, he's a real life cop, and then he uses a cop mod in
Sheriff
GTA.
Eli?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
Sheriff
So
Eli. Shout out
he's
Sheriff
not buying
Eli.
he's not they don't I bet the executives don't like him because he's not buying shark cards. He's got his police car and he's got his skills and he's just doing his job out there on the beat. They like the guys that see other guys flying around in an A10 Warthog and go, I want that. And they need $3 million in shark cards to get it. That's who that game is catering to. And I mean, unless they're launching the online at the same time, that valve is going to get shut down. Not because they want it to. And I'm not saying it'll be overnight
Well,
or anything, but they're not going to make the money they're making right now. And I'm not talking about GTA 6. I'm talking about 5. The residual on 5 is going to go down sharply once 6 online drops.
I will say though, no one needs shed a tear for Rockstar. Rockstar is going to
No,
be just
hell
fine
no.
during this time of need. They
Yeah.
have more money than God right
Oh
now.
man, literally.
One way to look at it, as far as launching, they can see this whole wave that we're looking at, where Nintendo's charging $80 for Mario Kart, then Xbox is charging $80 for some of their first party games. They could look at that and say, because here's the deal: GTA is going to sell record breaking numbers of this. The record only held by the previous GTA. Right, they're
Yeah.
going to shatter
Probably
their own
second
record.
place is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, they're going to make all the money. They're going to
Yeah.
make all the money. So they could either look at it one of two ways. They could either say, hey, these people are going to buy it. No matter what we charge, they're going to buy it. If we charge $100, $150 and say, hey,
Yeah.
we worked on it a really long time, guys. It was really expensive to make. People are going to buy it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So they could look and say, hey, it's guaranteed money no matter what. Or they could look like the Pope and say, you know what, guys, all this stuff going on, we're gonna give it to you, and it's just gonna be $60. We're not changing anything,
Yeah.
and give it to them for this standard price, and they're still gonna make all the money, all the sales, and then once they get that online component, they are gonna be drowning in cash.
And I'm going to tell you this, what they could also do is sell you the single player experience and then charge you extra for the online component. And I'll tell you something else. They're going to be tracking pre-orders as soon as they're available. But if they're not going to offer 3 or 7, maybe they'd be the first company to offer a 7-day early access for a pre-order, which would be unheard of. And that would cement it for them, I think. But if they're not going to offer any kind of early access because they want everybody to play it at the same time, then I don't think they're going to get the pre-orders that they're looking for, because what's the impetus for it? You said it yourself, nobody's buying physical games anymore. I haven't bought a physical game in over 10 years, and nobody's going to pay for it early if they're not getting something for it.
I think, I mean, they're not going to be, well, they might actually be record breaking pre-orders. You never know with people. They can behave weird.
Yeah.
But I can see two reasons to order early, to pre-order at this point. One is, hey, I had some overtime this week. I got some money right now and I can spend it. It's October or whenever they open up pre-orders, right? And they say like, hey, I've got this money right now. I may not have it come May 26th of 2026.
That's a fair point.
And they said, let me go ahead and do it now. And that way I know I've got the game when it releases. And the other one is to buy it early so that you can go ahead and pre-download this God only knows how many gigabytes worth of a game and get that already on.
I think night before pre-orders will be through the goddamn roof.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe that. But here's a shocker for you and an unexpected comment probably for me. I might not get it at all.
It doesn't shock me. It doesn't strike me like you don't strike me as the somebody that would super be into. I think you'd enjoy it, the heist and stuff, but you don't strike me as somebody that's like super into it.
So here's the funny thing. I got it when it came out on the 360. I was able to go through that just torturous transfer of my character from the 360 to the PS4, which was insane. I was literally on the phone with Rockstar to get that done. I had a guy from work join my game one night because he didn't believe I played, and he pops into my game and he realizes I own Maze Bank. I have every single business. I have the underground bunker. I'm sitting on $34 million in money. I don't worry about buying anything in that game. And I still have not played it religiously for probably 4 or 5 years. And this is more of a philosophical, psychological part of the GTA conversation. I'm kind of GTA'd out, man. I don't know if it's age, because I still enjoy the topic that they cover, the whole theme of the game. I enjoy that. I enjoy traveling through these cities, especially since this one's back in Vice City, which was my favorite anyway, and a town that I actually lived in, Miami. The loop is exactly the same. It never changes. I mean, it never changes. And if I were you, I'd make the argument, well, hey, Jay, you play a lot of games where the loops never change. Fallout loops never change.
We'll see.
Elder Scrolls games never change in their loop.
Well, for me, the loop is the story. That's what I want. I want to do all the same. I want to do all the same stuff that I've been doing, and I want to do it somewhere new with new people. And like, because the characters are such an integral part of the Grand Theft Auto vibe. And that's the big thing. That's what makes you get lost in a Rockstar game.
Agreed.
Is the environments that they build. Like Red Dead Redemption 2. I dare anybody to try to start anywhere. I don't care where you start. Start somewhere and just open up the map, try to pick a mission. You could even pick just a destination and try to get from where you are and make it across the map. Left to right, right to left, up to down, down to up. Just try to get from one point to another and not get sidetracked by something else to do. Some stranger calling for help, some random event that pops up. It feels alive. And that's what makes it so immersive.
I'll tell you what won't shock you is I still have it installed. And every now and then, and I'm getting ready to tell you that I do too, but not in the way you're thinking. I love what they do when they gather music for Grand Theft Auto. I log in now and get in a car when I've had a rough day and just cruise around the city listening to songs that I had the tapes of in high school, right? And just sing along or rap along or laugh at some of the ads and commercials in the middle and talk shows. But I don't do anything else, man. I can just drive around.
No, I get it. Because even like Red Dead Redemption 2, it was really cathartic sometimes where you just, stressed or whatever, just to go to camp, make some coffee, drink some coffee, talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And then chop some wood, gather some water,
walk down the hill, throw the pole in the water, do some fishing.
Like just to do the mundane things.
Yeah.
And it kind of feel immersed in this world that you love. And that's what they're so good at, is that there's so many people can play the games different ways because obviously we want the story, but it's so easy. I mean, case in point with the RP players that have these servers with mods, it's so easy to get lost in there, to do other things, to drive around and listen to music, or just drive around and be like, you know what? I'm gonna be a vigilante. I'm gonna drive around, and every time I hear somebody say, "Hey, he's got my purse," I'm gonna jump out and I'm gonna beat the crap out of somebody. Like there's so many things, or just walk around and go clothes shopping. Go get another haircut, play with a beard. Just try all this different stuff. And there's so many things that you can do that are just absolute time sinks, and they're just really cathartic.
Dude, it's the Sims with guns is what it is.
Yeah, it's violent Sims, man.
It's the Sims with guns.
So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really curious to see what they do with the time, money, and graphical power behind this thing to make it come alive. I'm excited to see a hopefully Red Dead Redemption 2 level of story
depth
and detail, depth, and humanity to all come together. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm excited. And if they did, so here's one thing about me. I mentioned on the trailer watch along, is that I have never played a heist on GTA 5 online. I just never got into it. The online component was really weird. I just
Dude,
never got
and so
into it.
many trolls, man. So
Yeah,
many trolls.
I didn't know anybody that was like super into it. I wish I would have known that you were into it. Could have done some heists. So the only heists I ever got in GTA 5 were the heists from the main game. And once those were done, I didn't have any more heists to do. And looking at the trailer, there were at least 3 different levels of robbery that we saw take on. We saw like a little store and a little register
Yeah.
get robbed, which I hope is bringing back the ability to just rob any random store like we had the ability to do in GTA 3. And then we saw like a bank level robbery where they had the
Yeah.
mask pulled over their face, they had guns, they had hostages, and we saw them pulling a safe or a crate behind a truck that I'm assuming they had just ripped out of a wall or a floor and were taking it away. So I'm hoping that we get, obviously we're going to get heists in this game. I'm hoping that we get a lot of heists in this game.
Well, I think you're talking about Miami though, and the if they play on, and I hope they don't go
Drugs and
full
guns, man.
cliche,
Drugs
but
and guns.
that's what it'll be drug runs and guns, and I hope they introduce like a Cuba element where they do, or a Colombia element where you're running guns out of South Florida and drugs out of South Florida, and then
Would not surprise me.
I mean, you'd have to be familiar with the area, but the Tamiami Airport, which is where like if you saw Savages or Blow
Dude,
back in
Blow
the
is one of my favorite movies.
back in the late 70s and 80s, Tamiami Airport was this little municipal airport that's where everybody flew into. And it got so bad that eventually the federal government decided we're going to buy it and we're putting all of the government agencies on the airfield. So, I mean, we dare you to fly into Tamiami Airport. But anyway, that would be cool if that's in there. Maybe some homages to Vice City.
Oh,
You
they're
know,
gonna be there for
yeah,
sure. They're gonna be there. We're gonna hear some people talk about like, oh, because Vice City took place in the '80s.
yeah.
So I would wager that we're gonna have at least 1 or 2 old characters that are still kicking around that show up, and I bet we're gonna get quite a few name drops. Like, oh yeah, remember this Tommy
Tommy
guy from
Vercetti.
Yep. Remember this Tommy guy back in the day, and he
Or
whatever.
Lawrence Taylor still running his car dealership. Or I still remember, man, when I first loaded in that game, first got in a car, and I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight came on, and right after that was Billie Jean. I still remember that, and that part of it was wonderful. And I will tell you this: if you ever do want to get on 5, I know like 3 or 4 people we
I'm
could
down.
probably get on there,
I'm down. Let's
and
do it.
so you could at least do the heist one time and say you did it.
Yes.
But that's all I've got to say about GTA 6.
The only other thing that I have to
Oh,
mention
shit.
was again something mentioned in the watch along. I was just going to ask you what your thoughts are on one thing, and that is because I don't think that they've announced officially, hey, these are the only 2 characters you play. Like they've said that.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I thought would be cool watching that trailer, there is what's clearly like the lead detective that's going to be going after this couple there, and I thought, man, GTA 5, there were 3 characters. Here
Yeah.
so far, we only know of 2, and it's the boyfriend girlfriend combo, the Bonnie and Clyde going at her.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be cool, especially because we love heist movies, fan of crime sagas, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And one great thing that heist movies do, a lot of good heist movies, is you get to see it from both sides. You get to see the
Oh, Heat,
criminals and what
dude.
exactly.
Heat,
It's exactly where I was going, sir. Yeah. So what if?
Heat never showed it better, man, than showing both sides of the deal.
So what if we got those 2 and then we got to play the cop as number 3? I would love that.